Alright, boys and girls, slow down a little bit here. First off, talk about a couple things. We've talked about this a couple times before. You are a pilot class. We are testing an idea with you guys. You are our guinea pigs. I know we talked about this a little bit before. I just want to refresh your memory. You were chosen based on your Explorer and your reading test scores from last year. You were handpicked based on how well you did on that test. Now, the advantages of being in this class is you get algebra twice a day, and you get the opportunity to do some things that a normal algebra class would not get the opportunity to do. One of those is what we're going to do when we start this new unit. Now, the new unit is, well, we actually started last time we met when you took the pretest, but that was just kind of to gauge where you were to begin with. Now we're going to actually start the unit. This new unit is on solving one variable equations with integer coefficients and constants. Now, there's a lot of big words there, so let's break that down to a little bit smaller pieces. One variable equation. So that means there's only going to be one variable, one letter. Integer coefficients. Can anybody tell me what an integer is? Yes, whole numbers. Good. So everything we deal with in this chapter is going to be whole numbers. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Coefficients and constants. Those are probably new terms to you. Coefficient, yes. Coefficient is the number in front of the variable. Good. So where do you think the constant is? Absolutely. It's the number that is by itself. We'll hit that a little bit more as we go on. I want you to make sure you're using the proper vocabulary, and so we're going to start from the beginning with that. Second off, let's talk about the integer part. Why are we using integers? Well, we're using integers because I want you to understand the basic concepts that are going on in this chapter. I want you to understand the fundamental underlying things, and that's a whole lot easier to understand when you're dealing with things that you can grasp. You can grasp 3, you can grasp 4. It's a little hard for some of you to grasp how much 3 3/4 is. It's hard to get a visual model of that. So when we're working with these problems, we want you to understand the underlying things. Why does it do what it does? Why do we do that to solve an equation? That's why we're starting with integers. Once we get the fundamental concepts out of the way and we understand the whys and the hows, then we can build on it and we can do it with fractions and decimals, and we can get more complicated. Now, we're not going to be simple. I mean, we're going to have some one-step addition, subtraction, multiplication, division problems. We're going to also get a little bit difficult. We're going to get two-step equations. We're going to get distributive equations. We're going to get variables on both sides of our equations. We're going to build this up so you can handle pretty much any type of equation that comes across your desk. The thing that we're going to do this is we're going to use online simulations. I have a couple of websites that are going to help us out here, and it's going to help you simulate the environment. It's going to help you simulate, and it's going to allow you to manipulate things in a way that we just can't do in a normal classroom. Second, when we're all said and done with all this, you are going to model a situation for me. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as we get to the end. But one of the things that we hope to accomplish, one of our objectives in this class, is you are going to model for us, for the rest of the class, a certain situation. How you do it and how you do what you do is completely up to you, but I want you to let you know that's coming. That is one of the objectives we have for this class. So, obviously, we're down here in the computer lab. We've got our 30 computers. We're not down in our classroom with our desks in our nice, neat rows. But we're down here in the computer lab. Initially, you're going to be working by yourself. Eventually, you're going to be working with a partner. But the computers, we need to be down in the computer lab for today. So, right now, let me hand out to you the worksheet you're going to need for today. So take a look at that. And I have my balance here. What can you tell me about how a balance works? What happens if I would put something on this side of the balance? Right, it tips in one direction. What do I have to do to keep it from tipping too far in one direction, or to keep it from tipping at all in one direction? Don't put it on. I can take it off, yes. What else can I do if I'm going to put this on here? Yes, put something that's the same on the other side. So now that I've got you engaged with the balance here, I'm going to let you explore. Go to the website that's on the top of the worksheet. Punch that in. And you are going to use that first simulation to explore the balancing of equations. Now, you see from on the worksheet, you're going to have to explain the rules that are necessary to solve an equation. So after you get done playing with it and you do those first couple of examples and you write down what happens, you need to start writing rules, write an explanation. Alright, when you're done with your explanation, you are going to switch that with your peer, someone sitting next to you. Now I will have partners chosen for you. I'll pair you up and you will work with that partner. You and your partner, you need to take your partner's work and take all of that rules that they wrote and try to solve the next 10 problems. Now you can only use the rules that are in front of you. You cannot use any of the rules that you wrote. Even if you think yours are better, you can only use the rules that are in front of you and exactly what's in front of you. And then you need to make notes about what works, what doesn't work, any suggestions you may have for the rules that were given to you, and any thoughts, ideas, just everything that comes to your mind while you're working through the second set of simulations. You need to put that on the paper so you can give feedback to your partner. All right, do that now. Alright, good. You're going to be evaluated on how you did on your homework tonight. So you got your rules back from your partner. Hopefully you can make some corrections. Use all those corrected rules on your homework tonight. A reminder, we'll also be evaluated on how we're doing on the online quiz you're going to take at the end of this week, and then we'll have the test at the end of the chapter. So keep that in the back of your mind as we're going through. Every day you get evaluated on your homework assignments. There'll be the quiz at the end of the week, and then there'll be the test at the end of the chapter. So make sure you're paying attention and have those in the back of your mind. All right, now we can discuss, since those simulations were all one-step addition and subtraction, we can discuss one-step multiplication and division. Again, the technologies that we use today, we had our balance, and we use that to help engage you in grab something that you already knew how to do, something that you already knew how it worked, and then related that to solving an equation. The other technologies that we use today, we use those internet simulations, those online simulations, and they really helped you grasp the concept of balancing equations and making your zero pairs and getting those things, keeping them balanced as you solve the equation. And then of course we use the whiteboard as we were talking about solving the one-step multiplication and division equations. And again, to remind you, you are going to be evaluated at the end of this chapter on the chapter test, and then there'll be a big evaluation on the presentation that we talked about earlier, when you have to model for me certain situations that come up, and we'll get into those a little bit more as they get closer. No need to worry about them just yet. We're just getting going on this unit, but you need to know that that is coming down the line. You're going to be evaluated on the online quiz. You are going to be evaluated in the test at the end of the chapter, and you will be evaluated on the model that you are going to create.